Are you tired of speaking English in your head but freezing when it's time to talk? Do you feel confident when typing, but nervous and stuck during real conversations? What if I told you there's a way to practice English every day, without judgment, without pressure, and still get better faster than ever? Sounds too good to be true? The full method is inside this video. If you're serious about improving your English, subscribe right now and set the bell to all, because you don't want to miss this. And trust me, watch this video from start to end. It might be the turning point in your English journey. There was a time in my life when I felt completely stuck. I wanted to learn English so badly, but no matter what I tried, I couldn't speak fluently. I read books, watched YouTube videos, even downloaded language learning apps. But when it was time to actually speak with someone, I froze. My mouth stayed shut, my heart raced, and my confidence disappeared. I would memorize words, practice grammar rules, and still, I couldn't form a proper sentence in real conversations. At one point, I thought maybe I was not smart enough to learn English. Maybe I had started too late. Maybe English just wasn't for me. But deep inside, I had this strong desire to speak. I wanted to travel, make international friends, and explore the world. I knew English was the key. The problem was, I had no one to practice with. Everyone around me spoke my native language. The few people who knew English made me feel embarrassed when I made mistakes. I remember once I tried to order something in English and the person laughed at how I said it. That moment stayed with me. It hurt. After that, I avoided speaking again. But one evening, while watching a random video, I heard something that changed my life. The speaker said, "If you don't have anyone to practice with, talk to ChatGPT." At first, I laughed. Talk to a chatbot? How could that help me? But then I thought, what do I have to lose? No one else is helping me. I might as well try. So I opened ChatGPT and I typed, "Hi, I want to learn English. Can you help me?" And that's how my journey began. I didn't expect much from it, but to my surprise, ChatGPT replied instantly, politely, and in a way I could understand. It didn't judge me. It didn't laugh. It just helped. I started asking simple questions like, "How are you?" or "What is your name?" And ChatGPT always responded like a real person. It felt like I was talking to a friend. Each day I would talk for 10 minutes, then 20, then 30. Slowly, I started feeling confident. I asked it to correct my sentences and explain my mistakes. It always gave simple explanations, and I learned faster than ever before. I didn't need to worry about grammar books anymore. I was learning through real conversation. When I made a mistake, ChatGPT gently corrected me. When I asked a silly question, it still answered with respect. That gave me the courage to keep going. One day, I practiced ordering food in English. I typed, "I want a burger and fries, please." ChatGPT replied like a waiter and helped me improve my sentence. We role-played different situations, at the airport, in a hotel, making friends at a party. I felt like I was living those moments in real life. The best part? I was learning every day without fear. No one judged me. No one interrupted me. I could practice any time, even at 2 a.m. Slowly, my thinking started changing. English didn't feel like a scary subject anymore. It became a part of my day. I started thinking in English. I started dreaming in English. The more I practiced, the better I got. And the better I got, the more I wanted to learn. It became a habit. ChatGPT became my teacher, my coach, my practice partner, and my friend. Soon, I started writing short stories. I would ask ChatGPT to check them and fix my grammar. I learn new words every day, not just their meanings, but how to use them in real sentences. I would ask, "What is another word for happy?" And ChatGPT would give me a list: joyful, cheerful, delighted, content, and then explain when to use each one. That's how my vocabulary grew. Not from memorizing long lists, but from using words in conversations. As weeks turned into months, I realized something beautiful was happening. I was no longer afraid of English. I began waking up excited to learn. ChatGPT was now part of my daily routine, just like brushing my teeth or drinking tea in the morning. I would ask questions like, "What's the difference between say and tell?" Or, "Can you give me 5 sentences using the word although?" The answers were always clear, simple, and helpful. This made me trust the process more. The fear that once held me back was slowly fading. I wasn't just learning English, I was building confidence in myself. That's something no textbook ever gave me. One day, something amazing happened. I met a tourist in my city who was lost. He asked for directions, and without thinking, I replied in English. Clear, confident, smooth. He thanked me and smiled, and that moment felt like magic. I had spoken English in real life, and it worked. I couldn't believe it. My heart was full of joy. I had always imagined what it would feel like to speak English naturally. That day, I lived that dream. After that, I started looking for more chances to speak English. At cafes, in parks, even online communities. I wanted to test everything I had learned with ChatGPT. I even started joining English-speaking groups online. But this time, I wasn't nervous. I felt prepared. I felt ready. Every time someone said, "Your English is good," I would silently thank ChatGPT. Behind my progress was daily practice, honest corrections, and thousands of small conversations. Those small conversations had built something big inside me. Belief. My belief turned into action. I started recording myself speaking English. At first, it felt strange. I didn't like the sound of my voice. I noticed every little mistake. But I didn't stop. I told myself, this is part of the journey. So every night I picked a random topic, like my favorite food, a memory from childhood, or a place I wanted to visit, and I recorded myself talking about it in English. Then I copied the text and shared it with ChatGPT. I asked, "Can you improve this and make it more natural?" And every time it did. I compared my version with the improved one and learned how to express myself better. It felt like magic. My sentences became smoother. My thoughts became clearer. I didn't just practice speaking. I practiced thinking in English. The more I did it, the less afraid I became. I started speaking without writing first. I started trusting my instinct. I even made a private playlist on my phone called My English Practice. I could hear my own progress. My first recordings were slow and full of hesitation, but slowly they became confident and fluid. That's when I realized I was no longer learning English. I was living it. Living English meant using it everywhere I could. I changed the language on my phone to English. I started watching movies with English subtitles. I read simple news articles and wrote short summaries about them. Every time I didn't understand something, I asked ChatGPT to explain it like I was 5 years old. That line always worked. It gave me such simple, clear answers. I felt like I had a private teacher who never got tired. One day, I read a news article about space. I didn't understand half of it. So I copied the difficult part and pasted it into ChatGPT. I asked, "Can you explain this to me in very easy English?" It replied in seconds. Not only did I understand it, but I also learned new words like gravity, orbit, and atmosphere. I added them to my daily notes and used them in my recordings. That day, I realized how powerful it is to learn from things I enjoy. I didn't need a boring textbook. The world was my classroom and ChatGPT was my guide. As my English improved, I wanted to do something bigger. I decided to start my own YouTube channel to help other learners like me. I knew what it felt like to struggle. I knew the fear, the self-doubt, the loneliness of learning alone. And I also knew how ChatGPT helped me grow. I wanted to share that journey with the world. I started by making simple videos, just me talking about how I practice English every day. I didn't use fancy cameras or perfect editing. I just shared my real story. I showed how I talk to ChatGPT, how I correct my sentences, how I ask questions and get answers. To my surprise, people from all over the world started watching. Some were from India, some from Africa, some from Europe. All of them were learning English like me. They commented things like, "Thank you, this is exactly what I needed," or "Now I feel like I can do it too." That gave me strength. That gave me purpose. My channel wasn't just about me anymore. It became a place of hope for others. I started planning better videos. I created topics that real learners care about. How to think in English, how to stop translating in your head, how to learn vocabulary naturally. I didn't just give tips. I told stories. I shared my mistakes, my small wins, and my honest feelings. I wanted people to know that it's okay to be imperfect. It's okay to learn slowly. What matters is showing up every day. I used everything I learned from ChatGPT to make those videos. Sometimes I even asked ChatGPT to help me write a better explanation or give examples for my viewers. It was like co-creating content with a teacher who understood both me and my audience. That made my videos feel different. They were real, personal, and full of heart. As more people watched my videos, they started asking questions. Some said, "I feel shy to speak English. What should I do?" Others said, "I don't have anyone to talk to." Every time I gave them the same answer: start talking to ChatGPT. I told them my full story, just like this one. I showed them how I started with one sentence, then one conversation, and slowly built my confidence. I reminded them that I was not born speaking English. I was just like them, afraid, unsure, but full of hope. I made videos to answer their questions. I used their problems to create helpful content. And every time someone said, "Thank you," I felt proud, not because I was perfect, but because I was honest and consistent. One day I received a comment from someone in Brazil. They said, "Your video gave me courage. I spoke English today for the first time with a tourist, and I didn't feel scared." That message brought tears to my eyes. I never imagined that my small journey would reach someone across the world. Another person from Egypt said, "I started talking to ChatGPT just like you said, and now I speak more fluently." I realized that my channel was more than just videos. It was a movement, a quiet revolution for people who had no teachers, no partners, no support, only a dream. That moment changed something in me. I no longer saw myself as just a learner. I was now a leader, a helper to others who once stood where I stood. But even as I helped others, I never stopped learning. Every single day, I still talk to ChatGPT. Some days I asked about grammar rules. Other days I asked it to correct my speaking notes. I even started using it to practice interviews and daily conversations. I would say, let's pretend I'm at a job interview, or let's talk like we're in a cafe, and it would reply like a real person. These daily role plays made my English so much better. I began to think in English during real situations. When I bought something, I imagined the conversation in English. When I watched something, I tried to explain it in English. I was no longer translating in my head. I was thinking directly. That was a huge moment for me. I realized that fluency wasn't just about words, it was about mindset. And ChatGPT had helped me change that mindset, one sentence at a time. Slowly, I began dreaming in English. My thoughts, my plans, even my prayers. Everything started flowing in English. That was the proof I had truly changed. And still, I kept sharing this story with my audience. I told them, if I can do it, you can too. You don't need perfect grammar to start. You don't need fancy books or paid classes. You just need the courage to begin. And they believed me, because everything I showed them was real. No script, no acting, just a person, a laptop, and a deep desire to grow. One day, I made a video called Talk to ChatGPT Like This and Your English Will Improve Fast. That video exploded. Thousands of views, comments from every continent, people saying, I'm starting today, others saying, I never thought of using it this way. That video proved something powerful. Most learners don't need more grammar. They need more confidence, more daily practice, and a method that actually works. I kept making videos with unique topics. Practice English without a partner, think in English in just 7 days, how to stop translating, and English speaking routine with ChatGPT. All of them were based on my real journey. I didn't copy anyone. I didn't pretend to be perfect. I just shared what worked for me. And people connected with that honesty. Some even said, your channel is different. You speak from the heart. That made me emotional. I never thought my biggest weakness, my poor English, would become my strength. And I never imagined that strength would inspire people I've never met. But that's the magic of truth. When you speak honestly, it touches others deeply. Today, I continue to speak with ChatGPT. I still make daily recordings. I still correct my sentences. I still try to learn one new word every day, because learning never stops. And now, I teach that to my audience. I tell them, you don't need to learn everything today. Just do one small thing daily. That's enough. I teach them to be kind to themselves, to celebrate their mistakes, because mistakes mean progress. I tell them to stop judging their accent, to stop comparing themselves to native speakers. I remind them that English is not about perfection, it's about connection. And the more you use it, the more natural it becomes. I say all this because I lived it. I know the pain of being silent in a group. I know the shame of forgetting words. I know the fear of saying something wrong. And I also know the joy of finally expressing yourself clearly. The joy of helping someone. The joy of watching your own videos and saying, that's me. I did that. And that joy is worth every awkward sentence, every slow start, every silent night of practice. I want everyone watching my channel to feel that joy too. Some people ask me, aren't you afraid of making mistakes in your videos? And my answer is always no. Because mistakes are part of my story. They make my content real. In fact, when I look back at my first videos, I smile. My English was slow. My pronunciation wasn't clear. Sometimes I didn't even finish my sentences. But those videos helped me grow. They were proof that I had started. And if I had waited to be perfect, I would still be waiting. I tell my audience, start where you are, use what you have, don't wait. Because starting is the secret to growth. Nobody begins as an expert. We all begin as beginners. I always say, your first video won't be your best, but it will be the most important, because it proves to you that you can take action, that you are serious about your learning, that you believe in yourself, even a little, and that small belief is where everything begins. I still remember the day I crossed my first 100 subscribers. I was so happy I couldn't sleep. Not because of the number, but because it meant 100 people believed in me. That's a powerful feeling. And the more I shared, the more people joined the journey. Not because I was perfect, but because I was real. They saw the growth. They saw the effort. They saw someone just like them, learning step by step. That gave them hope. And hope is what every English learner needs the most. I realized that my videos were not about teaching perfect grammar. They were about giving people courage. And courage is more powerful than knowledge. Because once someone has courage, they will find their own way. They will keep practicing even when they feel tired. They will speak even when they make mistakes. They will continue even when nobody supports them. That is the kind of student I wanted to create. Not someone who knows every rule, but someone who never gives up. And that started shaping my videos in a new way. I stopped focusing only on lessons and started focusing on motivation. I made videos about discipline, about mindset, about how to stay strong when you don't see results. I shared my own days of frustration, days when I felt stuck, days when I doubted myself, days when I almost gave up. I was honest with my audience. I told them that those bad days are part of the journey, that no one succeeds without them. And because I was honest, people trusted me even more. They sent me messages saying, I was going to quit, but your video gave me strength. That's when I understood something powerful. People don't follow you because you are perfect. They follow you because you are real. They follow your energy, your heart, your struggle. And I started pouring more of that into every video. I began showing behind the scenes. I showed how I prepare a video, how I use ChatGPT to improve my points, how I fix my own sentences before recording. I even showed my mistakes on camera sometimes, just to prove that making mistakes is not the end, it's the beginning. And something amazing happened. When people saw me making mistakes and correcting myself, they started doing the same. They said, if you can do it, I can too. They stopped waiting for the perfect sentence. They started recording their own practice videos. Some even began their own YouTube channels. They didn't copy me. They were inspired by the mindset that says, it's okay to be a beginner. Just keep going. That's when I knew this was bigger than just me. It was becoming a movement, a real shift in the way people learn English. No more shame, no more fear, just daily practice and honest growth. I also started getting messages from people who weren't learners anymore. They had become teachers. They said, your journey gave me the courage to start teaching English online. That shocked me. I had inspired teachers, me, the same person who once struggled to form a basic sentence. It felt unreal, but it was happening. I was living proof that when you document your progress with honesty, it can impact people far beyond your own goals. That motivated me to take things to the next level. I started making detailed guides, how to build a speaking habit with ChatGPT, how to create your own learning routine, how to review your own progress every week. I wasn't just sharing what worked. I was giving people the tools to make their own system. I told them, don't follow my way. Learn from it, then build your own path. And people loved that message. They felt free, not pressured. They felt encouraged, not judged. And that made all the difference. And as my channel grew, I kept my promise to myself. I never pretended to be something I wasn't. I told my audience the truth. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still making mistakes. But I'm showing up every single day. And that is what makes the difference. Not talent, not background, just consistency and honesty. I told them, the only way to fail at English is to stop trying. And they listened. I started creating weekly challenges for my audience. Speak one sentence every day, record one video, correct one grammar point, celebrate one small win. These little tasks created big momentum. People who once feared speaking were now excited to speak. One of the most emotional moments of my journey came from a student in a very remote village. He sent me a voice message. His voice was shaking, but full of emotion. He said, "No one in my village speaks English. I don't have a phone with good internet. But I downloaded your video from a shop, and I watched it again and again. Then I started talking to ChatGPT in a small internet cafe once a week. Now I can speak basic English. My dream is to teach children in my village one day." I cried after hearing that. That message reminded me why I started. It was never about views or likes or going viral. It was always about creating impact. And now I could see that impact clearly. Not in numbers, but in voices, in dreams, in small wins. I started collecting these stories. I shared them in my videos. I created a series called Learners Like You, where I featured stories from my audience. People who had no money for classes, no native speakers to talk to, no support from family, but who still found a way. And soon the comments were full of people saying, "I see myself in this story." This reminds me of my own struggle. If they can do it, I can too. It became more than just learning English. It became a place of connection, of honesty, of shared hope. I saw people from different countries, different cultures, different backgrounds, supporting each other in the comments. One person would share a fear, and 10 people would lift them up. Another would post their first voice recording, and they'd receive words of encouragement from total strangers. That's when I knew. I didn't just build a channel. I built a community. A safe space for learners who felt left behind. A home for those who were too shy to speak. A classroom for those who couldn't afford one. And I built it not because I was perfect, but because I was willing. Willing to share. Willing to fail. Willing to speak even with broken English. That's what I want you to remember. You don't need to be perfect to inspire others. You just need to be real. Because someone out there is waiting to hear your voice. Hear your struggle, your lessons, your honesty. Someone out there is learning from your journey right now. So keep going. Keep speaking. Keep learning. And never underestimate the power of your own story. I started this channel to improve my English, but what I really improved was my life, my confidence, my mindset, my ability to connect with people across the world. I became a better person because I chose to show up, even when I was scared. You can do the same, not just for English, but for anything you believe in. Your story matters, and your voice is stronger than you think. If you want to know how I really improved my English, step by step, with my daily practice, the exact ChatGPT messages I used, and my full routine, I made a special video for you. It is pinned in the comments and also linked in the description. If you watch that video, many of your doubts will go away. And if you still have any question or confusion, just write a comment below. I read all the comments, and I will reply to help you. You are not alone. If this video helped you even a little, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if someone you know is stuck in English, please share this video with them. It might help them a lot, just like it helped me.